Hi folks, John Rush here, Richard Rush, my son behind the camera. We're going to do the long version of this particular review. This is the 2015 Infiniti QX80 Limited. Now, kind of a long string of things to say. Really, it's a QX80, has a limited package on it. The limited package gives you really everything you could possibly want on this vehicle. Price tag, just a tad under 90,000 bucks. So, tell you what, let's do a walk around. They've done some things on the car that we want to show you. Some exterior body changes they've made. The limited packages gives you some different things on the inside. This is a really, really nice, luxurious, full-size SUV. Lots of towing capacity. Runs fantastic. But tell you what, let's walk around and come around to the front. You'll notice some of the fascia changes here in the front. They've redid some of the bumper. Not some of the bumper, they've redid the bumper fascia, the grille, the way some of this looks. The headlights are new for this particular year, for 2015 I should say, and they've made some other changes to it. This particular Limited, as Richard rolls around, you can see it's got a chromed gray aluminum wheel. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but it's basically a chromed aluminum wheel in an argent or a dark gray color. Standard running boards on this particular model. Again, this has the 5.6 liter engine in it, 400 horsepower, and we averaged, believe it or not, even with 400 horsepower in this size of a vehicle, I averaged around 19.5 to 20 miles to the gallon in it. You'll see as we walk around to the back here, they've actually done some restyling on the back end of the vehicle also. It's actually got a full camera system that goes all the way around the vehicle, all the sensors which you can see. As we get into the driving portion here in a minute, we'll talk about the actual automatic braking features that it has, collision warning and so on. Now, looks wise, this is a car that after driving it, for the week and showing it to a lot of different people, family, friends, and so on, it's either a vehicle you love the looks of or you hate the looks of. And Infiniti, I'm just being honest with you, and everybody out there watches, I'm just being honest. I personally like the looks of the vehicle. Now, I've got friends of mine, close friends of mine, that basically called it a football on wheels, because it just, especially in this brown color, it's a very rounded look. Again, I personally like the looks of it, but not everybody else did. For example, my wife, not a huge fan of the looks. So it's one of those looks where you really, you're going to have to get out, see the vehicle for yourself, drive it, get behind the wheel. Interior wise, I'll tell you what, it works fantastic. It's beautiful on the inside. As we get into that here in just a few minutes, we'll show you that. But I tell you what, let's go take a quick drive. We'll show you some of the technology features of the QX80, which again, it's phenomenal. Infiniti, you've done a great job on the technology package on this vehicle, as far as how it drives, all those different things. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. Let's go take a drive. All right, folks, going to do the driving portion now of the 2015 QX80 Limited from Infiniti. One thing we forgot to mention too on the back of the vehicle that I should just really quickly mention is in the back redesign, they also put in some really nice LED lights in the back. Very, very cool. Some people would really care about that. Others probably don't, but I think that's a cool feature. The LED rear lights are actually a pretty cool thing. So as we kind of go through some of the interior things, we'll go through this after the driving portion in a little more detail as far as how the seats look and the console and the storage and all that. But as far as the technology side of the fence goes, all of that is built into the center stack. One thing I will say is, even though I'm 5'10", nothing, as you can see from my arms, nothing is too far away to touch. I'm not reaching clear out like I am on some vehicles to actually get to the controls, which actually I actually enjoy. One thing I also enjoy on the vehicle is anything you want to control, for the most part on the radio, is all right here. If I want to change from AM to FM, I just roll through that here. If I want to go to the auxiliary device, which will work through Bluetooth or plug in, however you want to do it, again, all done here. All your defrosters and HVAC, all of that is run here. Heated and cooled seats are controlled down here, and I can put the back row, third row seats up and down. I believe it's the third row seats. Let me do that right now. Sorry, second row seats. I can flip that down right like that. So if I want to get a passenger in and out, I can just hit that seat or hit the button rather, and it hits the second row seats and allows easy access in that way, which you just saw. As far as steering wheel controls go, pretty standard for Infiniti. You do have your around vehicle button, which what this does, you hit this button and it literally notifies you and or brakes for you when you're getting close to an obstacle. So if you're in traffic and this is on and you're not paying attention like you should be, and you're getting too close to the vehicle in front of you, it's going to stop the vehicle for you, literally all the way down to a full stop. this car will do. I tested it this past week, and even in regular stop and go 35, 40 mile an hour traffic that all of a sudden stops, if you're on the freeway and it just suddenly stops, the vehicle will shut it down all the way down and keep you a safe distance from the car in front of you, and you can set that. That's also how the adaptive cruise works, lane departure. It actually keeps you in the lane, and they do that not through controlling the steering wheel, but by doing whatever braking needs to happen to move you to the right or to the left according to where you're at in the lane. So again, Infiniti, great job. You've been really the leader when it comes to some of the technology on that side of the fence. Not that this car drives itself, but it's got a lot of safety features on it that if you tend to get distracted, which you shouldn't, but a lot of people do, it just gives you the ability to stay really, really safe in the car. So Infiniti, you've done a great job. You can change some of the controls, or not controls, but you can control up here what you see in the display itself. That's all done through the buttons up here. And as far as the actual nav screen, radio screen itself goes, you can switch over to the info screen. I just scroll down, hit fuel economy, and we're at 18 now. I've had it as high as 19.1. My son's been driving it the last couple of days. He's got more of a lead foot than I do. Again, I go back to info. I can go to weather. Where am I? All those different things are all built inside. I hit this, it'll actually give you the weather forecast, nearby weather here in Denver at 72 degrees right now. And I can even go down and hit the forecast. It'll tell me what's coming up. I can go over to the map. It'll tell us where we're at on the map. Again, very intuitive system. One thing that Richard did mention, I tend to agree with because of all the different vehicles that he and I drive. This one is a little bit cumbersome initially for us to get used to. Part of it is because we don't drive a ton of Infinitis. And a lot of their stuff is done via buttons versus some sort of a knob somewhere that you're actually controlling. So it takes a little bit of getting used to. In a lot of the other cars out there, the other manufacturers, this control knob is down here someplace in the middle of the center stack, or on the console, I should say, and it sometimes makes things a little easier. This isn't bad. It's not a knock. It's just something that you get used to. And of course, if you were driving only this vehicle every day of the week, none of what I mentioned would be a big factor, but I just thought I would mention it because nav systems for a lot of people do have a lot of bearing on the vehicle that they buy. This one, actually, I like real well. It works really pretty well. As far as destination goes, you can actually pop in you can put an address book in here, or you can hit the street address. And if we wanted to go to, I don't know, let's just punch in an address. You just scroll to where you want to go. You can either do it through the knobs, or I can go up and down the way I did, and you would just input that and off you go. Very, very intuitive system that way. So I like the way that works. If I want to go back, I can just hit the back button here, and it'll delete those out and take me all the way back if I want to go back. So again, very, very intuitive system. It works fantastic. Camera wise, something I want to show you there. It does have an around the vehicle camera. So when I put this in reverse, you can see it's going to now go to the reverse mode, and it does put the grids right on the screen, so I kind of know exactly where I'm going as far as how far away I am from the curb. And I can see in this view where I'm actually at as far as the curb line next to me go. If I actually wanted to go, and there's nobody behind me, so I can do this. If I wanted to go to the other side of the road over here, to the other side of the curb, I literally can see all of that, pull right in next to the curb, and I know exactly where I'm at. And these darker lines that you see over there is the grass that they mowed and didn't get cleaned up. And the curb line is actually just a tad off of that. So again, you can actually change the view of this. So I can actually hit that, change view over here on the right hand side, multiple views. Their camera system actually works very, very well. So good job, Infiniti. But let's take a drive. One thing before I do that though, they do have full control. You do have auto, 4 high, and a 4 low mode in this particular vehicle. And it does have also the tow mode and the snow mode, and you can turn the traction control off, all done right here in the dial. Let's take a quick drive. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do is once we get going here a little bit, I'm going to try to just be quiet and just show you how quiet the QX80 is on the inside. Quiet and smooth. That big dip that I just went through, that's a sizable dip that we just went through. In a lot of cars, Richard would have been thrown through, literally would have probably hit the roof. This car is really, really smooth. It's a joy to drive. Even with the larger wheel and tire package on this particular limited model, you don't notice it. Even with the short sidewalls, it still has a really nice, smooth, quiet ride. As we've mentioned, the 400 horsepower engine, fantastic, works great. We can still average in the high teens, low 20s as far as fuel economy goes. and it has lots of towing capacity with it. You can get all those figures right on the Infiniti website if that's something that you're looking to do with the vehicle. But I tell you what, let's go back. I'll walk you through the rest of the interior. You know, again, really great vehicle. I'll give you my opinion at the very end of this review, but I encourage you to watch it and watch the rest of this review and watch the short review that my son Richard did. It'll be over on the sidebar of the 2015 Infiniti QX80 Limited. All right, folks, hope you enjoyed the driving portion of the review. And again, as we always say, my son is a big one on saying this. Get out, drive this car for yourself, get behind the wheel, put whatever you're going to do, you know, family-wise, so on. Even if you've got a particular item that you always carry, our suggestion is take that with you, see if it fits. Last thing you want to do is get this car home and then not have it work out the way that you want it. But as far as opening the back hatch, hold the button down. You can also walk up to the vehicle and do the same thing. One thing I wish they would add that some of the other, you know, lesser manufacturers, not the right word, less costly manufacturers are doing. Kia, for example, you have the ability to keep the fob in your pocket, just walk up and it automatically opens. That would be something Infiniti that would be a cool feature. Not that it's a big deal, but sometimes your hands are full, the fob's in your purse or it's in your bag, in your pocket. You don't want to get it out, fumbling around. It's nice to just be able to walk up. This is all automatic, up and down. Button to close it's here. We'll show you that in a minute. The seats right now we have in the down position. That can be, I'm going to switch sides with Richard here. That can all be controlled right here. So if I want to bring this up to the up position, all I do is hold the button down and this seat will come up. When it's all the way up, I will say that there is a pretty decent amount of storage room back here, even with the seat all the way up. So even with the third row seat up, and as you can see, you could actually even recline it so it's got a more comfortable back seat for the passenger. But if you put it up in a normal position, you can see that back here, I've still got a pretty decent amount of room. You know, you're not going to get a ton of room, but could you put a couple of golf bags, some carry-on luggage, and so on back here? You absolutely could. It would not be a hard deal to do. Power outlet that's over here on the left-hand side, tie-downs here, tie-downs in the floor here. You know, again, they've done a really nice job. As we get around to the second and first row seats, I'll kind of show you how that works. And even in this back seat, one thing that's kind of a, which again, they've all got, but the way they do this one is, the third row seat, as far as the shoulder harness for this back seat passenger, is right up here. You just pull that down and off you go if somebody's sitting in the middle seat, which is really kind of a really nice feature. They did change the back end of this. One thing that we do try to do on these SUVs is, if there's one thing that you'll notice, is this does sit up a little bit higher. And what I will also tell you is with the air suspension on this particular model that's back here, it's not going to vary from this. So even if you get a trailer back here, if you get it loaded full of luggage, the ride height is not going to change. So as far as loading things in and out of it, as you can see, I'm 5'10", and it really is literally as waist high. Now, some people are going to say that's great. I love that extra added height and so on. Some others might say, wow, that's a pretty high access point to pick a bag up, throw it in the back, whatever you're going to do. So again, just something to note, and definitely not a deal killer for me personally. It just has a that's just where the height is as far as loading things in and out of it goes. They did put a nice protector here to keep the bumper from getting, you know, messed up as far as loading things in and out. So that's kind of a nice added feature. And the trailer hitch is underneath this panel right here. But to close it, we just hit the button and it will close. All right, folks, going to show you now the second row seating in the Infiniti QX80. And one thing I want to mention real quick, again, this car just a tad under 90,000. If you want to see this car and how it would be equipped in a lesser model to get the price down, and maybe you don't need all the bells and whistles that are on this car, I encourage you, go to the Infiniti website, check all of that out, and you can determine exactly how you want to build your own that way. Again, this model, it comes with everything. One thing I want to mention real quick before I climb in, everything you touch getting in and out of this car, whether it's in the second seat, whether it's in the front row, it's nice soft touch leather, whether it's here, whether it's on the grab handles, anywhere you touch, you're going to be touching some sort of a soft leather material, and they've done a great job. And I'll let Richard actually show the stitching in the seat real quick before I climb in. They've done a good job on the piping. They've got this nice pattern they've put on the inset of the seat. Again, very nice, comfortable vehicle. It's just phenomenal. We'll show you the headliner here in just a minute. But climbing in, one thing I would have to mention is, because you're stepping on this running board, these backseat passengers, you do have to get your head around this opening. So it's just kind of something to remember. You got to duck down just a little bit so you don't bang your head here. There is vents back here for the backseat passengers. You can control all of that from the center console, the back of the center console. Dual DVD or dual entertainment system, I should say, that you can plug in and watch, you know, DVDs, gaming, however you want to do it. Nice big center console. Fold the lid up. really big center console for the person back here. This does not move up because these are two captain's chairs. It doesn't look like it. In fact, when you kind of look at this, you would think, oh, there must be another seat here in the middle where you can actually flip this up. That's not the case. These are two captain's chairs, so this would be a 7-passenger QX80. I believe they do make it in an 8-passenger. They just remove this in the middle and they give you a bench seat here in the middle. That's something, again, you'll have to check out on the Infiniti website. But I tell you what, let me climb into the front seat. Getting in and out, though, as you can see, ingress, egress is great. Actually had my wife and another couple that was with us this last week. Getting in and out of it was fantastic. They loved the back seat. Very, very luxurious. Again, this is a vehicle you just need to get out, get in it, try it out for yourself. Okay, folks, one other thing that I wanted to add on that I almost forgot about is how easy it is to get into the third seat. We actually, again, the particular outing we took this past week, I had people all the way into the back seat, full-size adults. Getting into that area, very, very simple. One flip of the lever, pops up, you climb right around, real easy.
One more time.
Why?
Because you were in the light and it's like it's black right here. So you're gonna have to.
So I'll just move out of the way when you go to do it. Ready? So are we rolling?
Yeah, we're rolling now. So I guess we'll just start.
Okay, folks, one other thing I wanted to show you on this that I almost forgot about is the easy entry to the third seat. This trip we took that I was mentioning earlier, I did have some adults that went to the rear seat, to the third seat, and it's very easy to get in. In fact, I didn't have to show anybody how to do it. They just walked over. There's a little lever here, and I'm going to jump out of the way real quick so you can see this. You pull the lever, up it goes, you climb in, done. Very, very simple. I didn't have to even explain to anybody how to do that. They just saw the lever there, they pulled it, and off they went. And a lot of times on these cars, because I drive a different car each week, you have to kind of go through and explain how things work. And this one, they just walked up, hit the lever, off they went, climbed into the third row seat. All right, folks, heading now into the front seat of the QX80 Limited. And again, we showed you some of the seating, you know, not features, but just the design of it, how all that works. I'm not going to get into that now. Again, they followed that stitching through the headrests, down on the lower cushion, the console. The wood in this car is, again, just absolutely fabulous. And one thing it might be hard to pick up on the lighting, but I'll try to show you, is what they've done is they've sort of darkened the wood around the edges to where it kind of goes from a transition from dark to a little bit more of a medium tone wood to kind of blend into the dark chocolate interior, which really is absolutely a beautiful interior. And one thing that's going to be hard to show you also that I think they've done a great job on is the headliner material, which again you see all along the A-pillars, all throughout. Really a nice soft touch headliner, really, really luxurious. Everything again inside of this vehicle, which again Infiniti is very well known for, all soft touch features. There's nothing in here that you feel it just doesn't have a hard plasticky feel to it. So Infiniti, great job. Big center console for storage in the front, which again is really nice. One thing I want to also show you is it does have the dual cup holders up here, which is kind of nice with some other storage features. And something that's kind of cool is you can actually slip this center, or this rear cup holder, the back cup holder. If you've got a larger water bottle, something like that, you want to stick in there, you can remove this and actually make that a larger opening. Something that for some of us that have big water bottles like myself, that actually was really a nice feature, because in a lot of cases I don't have a spot to put a water bottle. In this particular case I do, so that works out really, really well. The rest of the controls we showed you in the driving portion, so I'm not going to get into a lot of detail there. Really, really a nice vehicle. They've done a fantastic job on it. Let me hop around to the other side where the lighting's better, and I'll give you my opinion of the Infiniti QX80. All right, folks, the opinion portion now of the 2015 Infiniti QX80 Limited. What do I think of the car personally? Absolutely love this car. It's luxurious. We talked about in the driving portion about how quiet it is. It's smooth. The air suspension keeps everything stable on an ongoing basis no matter how much load you have into it. What are some of the cons on this particular vehicle? Frankly, price. Pay 90 grand for a full-size SUV. I realize that's where the prices are headed. Me personally, that's still a lot of money. Does it compete well in its marketplace for the price? Absolutely it does. You'll just have to be the judge of whether or not this fits the bill for 90,000 bucks. For a lot of you out there, it very well could fit that bill. Me personally, probably won't. But again, that's just me. Do I love everything about this vehicle? Absolutely, including the looks. That's the other con on this vehicle. Not everybody likes the looks of the QX80. Some people literally hated the looks of this car. I wasn't one of those. I actually liked it, My son Richard did the short review on this. You can find out from him what he thinks of the particular look of this vehicle. I encourage you to watch our short review so you can get his opinion of this vehicle. That'll be over in the sidebar. But with that, I really appreciate you watching. This has been a great, fantastic vehicle. I've loved it. It's the 2015 Infiniti QX80. All right, folks, hope you enjoyed this last review that we've just done. And as always, we say this, but we really do mean it. Get out, drive the car, put yourself, your family, your pet, whatever you're going to do with the vehicle, please get out, get in it, drive it. Make sure when you go and do that, you tell them John and Richard Rush from Drive Radio sent you. For all of our other reviews, content, things that we have, you can check that out at our website, drive-radio.com. Please go and like us on Facebook, facebook.com/driveradio. And of course, you found this on YouTube, because that's where we put all these videos up. Our channel, Drive Radio, all one word. Go check out all the rest of our reviews. Like it, comment, do whatever you need to. We want to be here to help you pick out the right vehicle for you, because as we always say, there's really not too many bad vehicles made today. There's just bad vehicle choices. So with that, I hope you have a great evening, great day, whatever it is. Just enjoy, and again, thanks so much for watching.